Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about two film cameras that I own, and I'm gonna be talking rather about my experiences with them, how I shoot with them, what I like and dislike about them, rather than talking about its technical characteristics. Because I did some research on YouTube and there are dozens of videos of much more competent people than I am who talk about these cameras and their technical features, and they cover all the necessary information you need to know about them. So today, I think we're gonna focus on rather my personal experiences with these cameras, and I'm gonna share whether I would recommend them to you or not. So if you're interested, stay tuned and let's get started. So the very first film camera that I got familiar with came from my parents. This is their camera and I kinda inherited it from them. To give you a little bit of background story, just one day I asked my mom if they still had their film camera that they shot all my childhood picture with, and all their wedding pictures and all their pre-digital life pictures, I would say. And she said, yeah, it's somewhere in a closet, just go find it. So I found it and I shot my very first film stock with it. It was Kodak Gold 200. And I kinda learned how to shoot film pictures with this camera. I'm still learning and I still don't know a lot about the art of shooting film, but what I can surely say is that this camera really got me into the world of film photography, and I'm super thankful. To give you a little bit of overview of this little camera, this is Kodak SKINA SK-701 model. What I really like about this camera is that it's super simple. Basically, to begin taking pictures, you need to open the lens and then you can hear a little sound of all the technical mechanic processes being started, and then once you see this red flash, you can start shooting. So it's very simple. It's not super complicated. You don't need to know a lot about film photography to start shooting with it. I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna show you the back side of it. Basically very simple. This is the spot where you load your film stock in, and this is the spot where you put your batteries. So you need to be aware that before you start shooting, you need to have full charged batteries, you need to have new batteries, so there are no surprises while you shoot with this camera. Talking about some pros that I've noticed for myself about this camera is that it's very light, so it's ideal for traveling, for going somewhere outside if you want to shoot someone or you want to shoot some landscapes. It's very light. It's lighter than my phone, my iPhone 12 Pro. I kind of estimated the weight and I feel like this one is much lighter, so this is a good alternative travel camera, I would say. I also like the fact that you don't have to do anything manually when it comes to shooting with this camera. Everything is automatized, so you don't have to adjust your focus manually. You just look through the finder, you find a beautiful spot and you shoot. You don't have to worry about the picture being blurred or anything like that. Also, what I really like about this camera is that it has an automatic shot counter. So you shoot and you don't have to manually adjust how many shots you've got. It just counts everything for you. So for example, if you want to know how many shots you have left, you can just take a look at it and it does the job for you. You don't have to worry about forgetting how many shots you did or not adjusting your counter correctly. It does everything for you. And also very convenient feature is that once you are done with shooting your film stock, you don't have to manually roll it. There's a button that does the job for you again. It's located on the bottom of the camera. You just switch it and it rolls the film for you. And once it's done, you hear the sound is over. You would recognize the sound for sure when the roll is rolled. And then once it's done, you just open this little door, you take out the film roll and you go develop. Another very handy feature is that this camera comes with a little case for it. It's not very firm, but it does the job of protecting the surface of the camera. If you leave your lens open, it also protects it. There's also a little hole for the little hanger that you can hold your camera with. Again, it's very light, it's relatively small, I would say, so you can fit it in your backpack, in your maybe even purse. So in general, I would recommend this camera or any other camera of Kodak, SKINA. Maybe you find some other models that are cheaper or more available than this one. So yeah, if you're looking for light, easy to maintain, easy to manage, easy to learn with camera, definitely give it a go and let me know what you think. My second camera, more professional camera, more tech savvy camera, more family history camera is ZenitE camera. To give you a little bit of background story of it, I got it from my grandfather. Although he's not alive anymore, my grandma passed it to me. I was so excited to shoot with a camera that is much more older than me. It's truly a vintage camera because according to my research, it was firstly released in 1960, I believe. Although this label says 1980, I believe it was prior to the Olympic Games that it was dedicated for, I guess. So if it was released in 1960, this camera is more than 60 years old. To say that I'm proud to have this camera, again, would be an understatement, because this is such a treasure in my film collection of two cameras. I feel like because it has much more manual elements to it and it's definitely much more complicated to learn with, I kinda had a grasp about the basics of film photography. It also gave me a little bit of understanding how digital photography evolved and how digital photographers work with their also very complicated and tech revolutionary cameras. So my very first observation that I made while I went out to shoot with this camera was its weight. It's pretty considerable, so if you want to travel with it, you really need to make sure you have A, space in your suitcase or backpack, and B, you have the capacity, the ability to carry quite considerable camera behind your back or with your hands. So this is one thing that I really wanted to point out. Secondly, to take a shot, you have to adjust your focus manually. So you look through the finder and you have to adjust how sharp your picture looks. This is definitely not very convenient if you want to take really fast pictures, let's say motion pictures of people partying or doing sports or any other really dynamic activities. You have to really sit there or stay and regulate the focus. So this might not be very ideal for motion photography. This is how the camera looks in its case, in its original ZenitE case. It's very firm. It's gonna last forever, I'm pretty sure. Although it has some scratches, of course, it's not new, as I said, it's vintage, it's secondhand, but the quality of the case, the quality of the detail that the case consists of is very considerable, and of course it's worth the price. Although some people complain that this case is pretty big, so you have to have a lot of space in your backpack or your suitcase for it, I would say it's definitely worth it, because the camera delivers a really good quality pictures as well as it teaches you a lot about film photography, as I already said. Alright guys, so this was it for my two film cameras that I currently own. I've tried to talk about them in as much detail as I could. I tried to be as honest as I could about my experiences with them, and I hope you had a good understanding of what experiences I had and whether I like and dislike them. And I'm really open to feedback, so let me know what you think about these cameras, whether you had any experiences with them, whether you would recommend them. I'm open to any feedback you guys have. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel, and let's stay tuned and let's learn about film photography together. Until the next time, bye.